Happy August and welcome to the reading vlog. I was thinking this week that I could do a reading challenge. I'm gonna try and read 100 pages or more each day for the entire week. This is the perfect time for that challenge because I have a book club meeting in a week for One Golden Summer, and before reading that I want to read Every Summer After, which I just picked up from the library today. I had a hold on it and it finally became available. If it took any longer, I probably would have just read One Golden Summer on its own because it could be read as a standalone, but the author does recommend reading Every Summer After first, so I'm really excited that this became available. It does mean I have a lot to read this week, but I figured we could read together, and challenging myself to read 100 pages a day is perfect because there are about 300 pages in this book and 400 pages in One Golden Summer. So if we read 100 pages a day for the next 7 days, I'll be able to finish both of these books. I am currently about 100 pages into The Nightingale. This was actually part of my July TBR, and I did not finish it, but I am going to keep reading it. But I'm going to kind of put it on hold for now. I can finish this at any point this month, but these two books need read this week. So if I happen to read more than 100 pages a day, then I will read some more of The Nightingale. This is a historical fiction book about World War II. I'm normally not a big fan of historical fiction, and I did kind of think this was slow to start, but around 50 or 60 pages, it started really pulling me into it. It's very descriptive, so that's what I didn't love, but it is emotional too, and I've heard later on in the book it gets more emotional, which makes sense. But hopefully I read more than 100 pages and we'll get to some of this as well. These other two books are both by Carly Fortune. I've never read a book by her, but Every Summer After and One Golden Summer are both summer romance novels. Every Summer After was her debut novel, and then One Golden Summer is her most recent release. She has a couple other summer romance books too, but those are both standalones, and I could read those any other time. I'm also reading Not Our First Rodeo right now on my Kindle, but that was an e-arc and it doesn't have the page number. So I'm almost done with it anyways, but I'm not going to include that in the 100 pages that I'm reading. I think I only have like 10 or 15% of the book left. So this is the stack for this week. I will keep you updated with all of my thoughts as I read. I will review the books as I finish them, and it'll all be spoiler free. I'm gonna be honest, it felt a lot like fall when I woke up this morning. It was 60 degrees. I was wearing sweatpants, this long sleeve cozy shirt, but it's the first day of August. So it is still summer. I need to get into these books, get into the summer vibes, enjoy the rest of summer, and then we can move on to fall in a few weeks. Let's go ahead and start the first book. I am a few chapters into Every Summer After, and even though I've only read about 25 pages so far, I really like this book. The book is set in two timelines. One in the current day, I think she's around 30 years old right now, and the other timeline is when she was a teenager and she lived at this cottage by the lake next door to a couple of teenage brothers. In the current day, she lives in a big city and she has not been back to the cottage or seen the brothers in 12 years. So there's some sort of horrible event that ended her relationship with Sam, the younger brother, and we don't know what happened. So I'm sure that will be revealed to us throughout the book. I really like the dual timelines. It's fun to kind of flash back to that time period. And then in the current day, she received a phone call that Sam's mother died, so she's going back to the lake house for the funeral. So she's gonna see Sam and his older brother Charlie for the first time in so many years. She's really nervous about it because of whatever happened, but it's really cute. She says that she hasn't had a relationship with anyone since then. She's had kind of like short flings, but nothing meaningful. She kind of said that her heart entirely belongs to the one guy that she can't have. So it really has me on the edge of my seat reading, wanting to know what it is that happened and made them not ever talk again, not be able to be together. The way that the author describes the setting and just things happening is very beautiful. It really makes me immersed in the story. I can feel like I picture exactly what's going on, and the lake house setting is just so perfect for a summer romance, so I'm enjoying that. At first I thought that it would be kind of like The Summer I Turned Pretty, when there were two brothers who came knocking on her door in the past timeline when she was a teenager, but I don't think it was ever a love triangle at all. From the beginning, it was kind of setting it up as her and the younger brother, Sam. Those are my initial thoughts. I'm enjoying the book. I'm gonna keep reading. I feel like it's a very quick book to read. I don't know if the margins are bigger than they usually are in books, or if that's just kind of how romance books are. It's a lot easier to read romance. It's just quicker for me and probably for most people, but I feel like I'm reading this fairly quickly. I did take a break for a while because we had some people here doing some home maintenance, so I was kind of busy with that. But I'm gonna get back to reading. My baby is in bed for the night, 7 p.m., so I have plenty of time to finish my 100 pages. Only 75 more to go. Also, I showed this bookmark in my last reading vlog, but how cute. It goes with the One Golden Summer book, so I'm using it for this one as well. I'm 61 pages into the book now, and it's still very good. I love that the chapters in the past very much feel childlike in their dialogue. The conversations between Sam and Percy are very blunt. They ask each other a lot of questions outright and just kind of talk how kids would. So it does feel like they're actually kids when reading those scenes, versus the chapters in the present day actually feel like she's a 30-year-old adult. So it is well written. I do have a theory about what the big twist might be that kind of caused them to split apart, but I feel like it would be kind of cliche, so I don't know if that's the direction it's heading. If it is, I think that's okay. I think she's setting it up well for that. I'm not gonna say what my theory is because I don't want to spoil the book at all of whether or not that is what happens. But it is sweet reading the scenes in the present day of them kind of seeing each other again for the first time in over a decade. They both seem to get along very well now. So it really does make you wonder what happened that was so bad that they don't hate each other now but couldn't see each other for all that time. It makes me think it was something kind of small and more of a misunderstanding, or maybe a mistake, because there is a lot of guilt that she has and a lot of regret over whatever happened. So that would fit with the theory I have. It must not have been anything too major though for them to still like each other in the present day. I like that the timeline of kind of the flashback chapters covers 6 summers. So as we read the book, the 2 timelines are kind of diverging into one, I would think, and I imagine at the end we'll find out what happened. I still have 39 more pages to read tonight. Not too much, very manageable, so I'm gonna finish that up and then head to bed. It is day 2 and I already failed, but that's okay. I'm gonna keep on reading, trying to hit 100 pages all the other days this week. I did read 30 pages today. And I also finished Not Our First Rodeo. So I read the last 10% of that ebook. I just don't know what that correlates to in terms of pages, so that's why I'm not counting it. But I did read a decent bit today. I also got super distracted today because a while back, like a few years ago, I started writing a book and I reached 25,000 words and then kind of got stuck, and I didn't go back to it until now. And for some reason I got the inspiration today and wanted to outline the entire thing, come up with all these new ideas for scenes and dialogue and plot and world building. I was trying to change the characters' names, and so before I knew it, it was 10 p.m. I only have 30 pages read. And I'm getting up at 7 a.m. tomorrow, so I am going to sleep. I will keep reading tomorrow. I'm still going to try and read 100 pages every day. I am loving this book, so I'll continue reading every summer after. But day 2 was kind of a flop. I guess that just means I need to read more tomorrow. I forgot to say I did hit the goal yesterday and I read exactly 100 pages. So day 1 went well. Day 2, not so much, but that's okay. Day 3 has gone so much better than yesterday. I read 100 pages, but that was split between Every Summer After and Golden Sun. You might be thinking, Andriana, why would you start another book when you need to finish reading this one and start reading One Golden Summer? That's a good question. The reason is because I need a book to read on my Kindle in between. And I don't have this one, I don't have One Golden Summer, but I do have Golden Sun on my Kindle right now from Libby. So I'm partially reading it as an ebook, but I also have the physical copy, which means I know which page I'm on. I was already a couple chapters into One Golden Sun. I am on page 31 now. I did stop in the middle of a chapter. My husband's reading it right now too, so that's why there are 2 bookmarks. I actually only read 13 pages of Golden Sun because I started on page 18, left off on page 31. I also keep accidentally referring to this book as One Golden Sun. One Golden Sun. It's called Golden Sun, but since I'm also about to read One Golden Summer, I keep somehow merging the titles. So if I do that in this video, I am very sorry. But I made a ton of progress on Every Summer After. I am on page 223 now, chapter 14. This book is so good. It made me cry. It made me laugh. I love it. Sam is just so sweet to Percy in the present day, in the past. I absolutely love him. They are a very cute friends to lovers kind of romance. My husband and I were friends first, high school sweethearts, but best friends before we started dating. So I feel like I am just a sucker for the best friends to lovers trope. It's my own love story, so it's my favorite love story, but this is so good. The perfect summer read. I will definitely be finishing this tomorrow. If I look like I've been sobbing my eyes out, it's because this book just ripped my heart out of my body. It was so good. I did predict the what of the big twist. I did not predict the why or the timeline, and it was written so beautifully and heartbreaking. I loved it. It made me cry probably the entire last 50 pages of the book. I was tearing up or full-blown crying. I'm a pretty empathetic person, so reading this book just made me very, very sad to kind of be feeling all the regret that our main character is going through. There's just so much heartbreak in what happened, in how much time has passed, in the miscommunication and misunderstandings that the characters had, and my heart is just breaking for them. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. 5 stars. It's written so well. I clearly connected with the characters enough, felt like I was there with them, that the book made me cry. I've always said if a book can make me cry, it's a good book. That means it's written well, you feel what the characters are going through. Even if it's something you can't personally relate to, you just imagine going through the situation that they're in, and it's awful. It's horrible, but that's what makes it so good. So I am extremely excited to read One Golden Summer. If this one ripped my heart out, and people say that one's even better, there are gonna be a lot more tears. With finishing this book and reading some more of Golden Sun today, I did read 101 pages today. So I did hit the reading challenge that I set for myself for this week, at least today. I have 3 days to finish One Golden Summer, so I'm gonna start that tomorrow, and I'm gonna have to read a little bit more than 100 pages of that per day to finish it, because that one's a bit longer, but I can do it. And with how good this book was, I'm sure I'll fly through that one, even if there was no deadline. It's just so good. It's gonna be so good, if this one is any indication of how that one will be. I haven't had a good cry like this in a long time. Thank you, Carly Fortune. Today went well. I hit my 100 pages, 103 pages to be exact. I started One Golden Summer, which isn't necessarily a sequel to Every Summer After, but it does have some of the same characters, one of which is a main character in this book. I mentioned that there was an older brother in Every Summer After, and that is who this book is about. So I didn't realize that, but I was really excited when I saw that. I'm 65 pages into it right now, and I do like it, but so far I feel like it's more just building up the story. Our 2 characters have met, there's some flirting, but not much else has happened. It is cute, summery vibes. I hope that since I did like Every Summer After so much, I don't put too high of expectations on this book and then end up disappointed. Or hopefully it'll just meet those expectations. But even though 65 pages is a good amount that I read today, I only have 2 days until the book club, which really means I don't have 2 full days. I have like 1.5 days, and I still have all of these pages to read. So I'm gonna have to read a lot tomorrow. Ideally, I'd mostly finish this book tomorrow and then use the last day of the reading vlog, the day of the book club, to just finish it off if I need to, but I don't want to rely on finishing it that day just in case anything comes up. I do want to make sure I finish it before the book club. So tomorrow we're gonna get busy. The rest of my 100 pages today came from Golden Sun, and this is really good so far. This is the 2nd book in the Red Rising series. Red Rising was a 5-star read for me. I loved it. I am loving this book as well. There's just a lot going on. It's very fun. I'm about, not quite, but almost 100 pages into this book. There is a character in the first book who died, and we don't know what their last words were. And in this book, you find that out. And that made me very emotional to read. I did not expect that. Honestly, I kind of forgot about it, but that really surprised me and made me kind of sad. 2 golden books at the same time. Literally, what a coincidence. I don't think I've messed up their titles so far in this video, at least not that I can remember, so I'm impressed by that. I keep in my head, though, saying the wrong name and merging these 2 titles together. Time to sleep so I can read a lot tomorrow. I am 140 pages into One Golden Summer and I am liking it so far. I do think it's a slower start than Every Summer After, so I'm not liking it quite as much. It's not that there's anything bad, it's just taking longer to build up to the romance in this one. In Every Summer After, they were childhood friends, so it followed 2 different timelines, which made it very interesting. At the start of that book, they also hinted very early on that something big happened, causing Percy and Sam not to talk anymore, not to see each other again. And so that made it very interesting, especially in combination with the 2 timelines of trying to figure out what happened. There was just a lot of build-up throughout the whole story, whereas One Golden Summer, it's just kind of a slower romance taking place over one summer. Percy and Sam are making appearances in this book, which is cool to see those characters again. And the book is about Charlie, the older brother. But I feel like so far, it's just kind of like a nice romance, but nothing exceptional. I'm only a third of the way through the book, so there's still plenty of time for more to happen. I am liking it, but compared to Every Summer After, I wouldn't say I like this one quite as much so far, but it's still good, don't get me wrong. I read this outside earlier today, which was really nice because it is a summery book. The sun was shining, it was over 80 degrees, so it was nice to sit outside and read. But the night is young, it's only 5:30 right now, and I have a lot more of the book that I want to read today, so I'm gonna keep reading. I ended up reading 224 pages yesterday, which was my most pages read in a day this week. Most of that was One Golden Summer. I am 258 pages in so far, so I still have a little bit over 100 pages left of this to read. And I'm leaving for the book club in 8 hours. So it's a tight timeline to finish it, but I have confidence in myself. I'm gonna get it done. It is good, but I still am not loving it quite as much as Every Summer After. I think this has cute summer romance vibes. We're at the lake house again, but it's a lot slower paced. There's not really any big thing building up anticipation. There is a countdown on every chapter that says the date and how many days left at the lake. But at the end of the summer, Alice and Charlie are both just gonna be going back to Toronto. So they're still gonna be near each other. So it's not like they need to fall in love before the end of summer or they'll never see each other again type of thing. They'll still be close by. So I don't feel like there's much suspense or anticipation with that aspect. And then there's not really anything too crazy going on in the book. They're becoming friends. They're doing a summer bucket list together. It is cute, but it is a lot slower. There's not as much going on. I don't know that I connect with the characters quite as much. I think I just can't relate to them as closely as I could to Sam and Percy, but it is still an enjoyable summer romance read. So I've got this much left to finish, and then I'll give you my final thoughts, hopefully before book club. Golden Sun, I'm 120 pages into. Still good, still chaotic. Everything that I would expect from a Red Rising book. My husband is actually getting really close to finishing this one. I'm pretty far behind, but making progress. finished One Golden Summer, bringing my total pages read today to 119, which is 782 pages for this week. So I didn't read 100 pages every day. There was one day that I only read 30 pages, but it did average out to more than 100 pages per day. And all of the other 6 days I read 100 pages or more. I'm dressed and ready to go to book club. We were told to wear colors that fit the book, so I figured blues and whites would kind of go with the lake house theme. I'm wearing a little tennis skirt, tank top, blue and white stripes, and a button down. They're holding the book club at the baseball stadium downtown, so that's a pretty cool location. Very summery. We're gonna have food, trivia, discussion questions, so it should be good. Before I go, I do want to give you my final thoughts and review on One Golden Summer. I have a lot of thoughts on this book, but I do need to go to book club, so I'm gonna try and get them all out as quickly as I can. I think what it comes down to is I thought this book was good, but not great. So I rated it 3.5 stars. I did really love the friendship between Charlie and Alice. They both are big on acts of service. They really showed up for each other, supported each other again and again. But every time I thought they would talk about their feelings, their relationship turned just physical instead. And that is the nature of being friends with benefits, which is what the romance is about in this book. But I did not love that dynamic. So I feel like I was rooting for them as friends, but not necessarily as a couple. I do think they're a good fit as a couple. I just wish they would have talked about their feelings more. I know that Charlie had a lot of insecurity, and a lot of that stems from what happened in Every Summer After. So I feel like it had the potential to be very emotional, very impactful if he would have kind of gotten into his feelings more. And he did, and there was some conflict, but I feel like it could have been focused on more instead of pushed aside. And again, that is kind of just the nature of a friends with benefits relationship, but I just couldn't connect with the characters as much in that way. But it's very cute, summery vibes. I loved their close relationships with their family members. Both Charlie and Alice are very family focused. Alice has a great relationship with her grandmother, so she confides in her grandmother, spends a lot of time with her. We see a lot of their relationship in the book. We also see Charlie enter into that and be supportive, spending time with Alice's grandmother, spending time with her niece and her sister. And we also see Alice entering into Charlie's family, spending time with Sam and Percy, which was cool to see them again after reading Every Summer After. So I did like the family dynamics aspect of it. But yeah, a lot of mixed feelings on this book. I did like it, I just did not love it. But thanks for watching this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see me yap about more books, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.